enough money, I'd quit my job.
Of course.
So with a newly interested person, myself personally, I'm up front with them as I am with people at work, in that I'm one of the first to say Jehovah's Witnesses are not popular. Mm-hmm. Jehovah's Witnesses are not liked by a number of people. Mm-hmm. And we're going to see things shortly in which as the political rulers turn on religion and outlaw religion, then eventually only Jehovah's Witnesses are still functioning, and they're going to put all of their effort in banning Jehovah's Witnesses, as they are doing right now in Russia.
Yes.
They're throwing Molotov cocktails and burning kingdom halls and so forth.
Very disturbing things about what's going on.
There's been disfellowship for probably going on 2 decades now. Partly because he chooses to continue to live a lifestyle that's not in harmony with what the Bible teaches. Okay. Another thing is, he's told me he's not going to go before a committee of men. Now, I remember when he got baptized. I remember him as a kid and so forth and so on. You can't use the reasoning that I didn't know what I was doing at the time of my baptism, because the talk makes it crystal clear. Yes. Even if you take someone that hasn't had a whole lot of exposure to the witnesses, and if you put them in the front row of that assembly hall or school auditorium or district convention, and they listen, there's plenty of time for them to get up and go ahead and go to the back of the audience. Correct. So, and nobody's pushing them into the pool.
No. It's the question, or where the disconnect comes from in my mind here, is that if this question were to arise to me from someone who was not familiar, on the level that I am with Jehovah's Witnesses and the Watchtower and the doctrine that's been put forth on the site, how would I help them to come to an understanding of, once they did become initiated, or once they become a little bit more dedicated and more integrated into the congregation, that if they ask me this question, what are the consequences of leaving once I become dedicated? It's difficult to tell them, yes, if you do leave, you will be disassociated. Yes, if you do leave, you will be disfellowshipped. Those in your congregation will not have dealings with you anymore. Those who you held as your brothers will not see you anymore as your brother because of the choices that you've made. And so there's a black and white line there that becomes difficult to explain to such ones who aren't already under the presumption that they understand.
Let me illustrate this way. That's you have sisters. You have. How do you feel towards your brother and your sisters?
I have unconditional love for them.
Unconditional love. What would you do for your brother or your sister?
Anything that would work, that would be required of me to do.
And rightly so, because that's how we're supposed to be, and that's how God made us. Jehovah's made us with that desire to want to just. I can talk to my brother the way I want to talk to my brother, but you can't.
Right.
Because he's my brother.
Exactly.
And that's why people in the world, they're good friends. What do we usually call each other? Hey, bro, how you doing?
Yeah.
Because of that bond, right? You see him as a brother. When you make that statement, what do you say? What are you saying?
When you call someone your brother?
Yeah, when I go out, you're like a brother to me.
Well, you're putting them on the same level as you, and you're showing that you have that love for them.
Okay.
It's an expression.
And that's an enduring thing. User. I don't have it in my house. Don't have it around my child.
I wouldn't.
Have no. Why? Why wouldn't I bring him into my home?
Because he's involved in such a dangerous activity that it can, to
pretty much do whatever she chooses. She has a boyfriend. She's like 13. He's like 18. It's a little disturbing to me, but I cannot tell him what to do. If he it bothers me. It angers me to hear that they had that. I don't associate with him much anymore.
Correct.
Because of the influence of his daughter on my son, because I don't want my son having an 18-year-old girlfriend.
No.
So with what that's being said is, if when one becomes a baptized brother or sister, they are closer than your fleshly blood brother. You are commanded in the scriptures to die for your brother. And we are expected to live by that, because that's the love we share. Now, with that being said, if someone no longer desires to serve Jehovah, there's some drastic changes that have occurred in their life that would jeopardize my relationship with Jehovah.
Okay.
I don't want to be a Jehovah's Witness. That bothers me. That hurts me severely, just like my IV drug brother. I love him severely. I can't even look at him without crying.
Yeah.
I seriously cannot go around him. I can't talk to him because it kills me. But I can't have anything to do with him because, one, I have a family. I have so forth. Another thing, he might influence me a little bit. Hey, let's go grab a couple beers.
Yeah, it wouldn't. It would be.
It could possibly destroy my family and my very well-being. Okay. And with that being said, ones are disfellowship from the congregation. I honestly, it really is because they no longer want to be a Jehovah's Witness.
Correct.
They make the decision.
That is their choice that they make.
Exactly.
Correct.
Exactly. In the scriptures, one group, talks about when they come to you, they'll be grieved and his sins will be forgiven. If someone's truly repentant and they're disfellowshipped and they truly are repentant, then you start questioning the sincerity of the brothers, because if someone's really repentant. So with that being said, one who is disfellowshipped or no longer part of the organization is because they choose a path that is, one, it will destroy their relationship with Jehovah and potentially destroy the relationship of others in the congregation. So with that being said, your family you want to protect.
Okay.
You are not going to hurt my family no matter what you do. It's a protection for the congregation.
So to prevent that stumbling block from even being presented in the pathway that you're going, you immediately remove yourself from going down that path that the stumbling block's in. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no. If one has a tendency to go a direction that is contrary to the beliefs of the Bible, it's then the obligation of the brothers to try to help those.
Okay.
Like Jerry said, and you're going to do what you want to do, because that's just life. I can go right now and go buy a pound of weed and start making money if I wanted to. I have that choice. But government might see it a little differently.
Yeah.
But I do have that choice, and the consequences of me doing that may be prison. But with that being said, a person that leaves the organization deliberately leaves the organization. It's not. No one's thrown out.
Yeah.
No one's ever thrown out. So, for the spiritual protection of the congregation, that's why ones are no longer. And also, in hopes that one may come to his senses and going, you know what, I missed that relationship with the organization. I have a brother, and I have a lot of illustrations. He's married. You probably, I can't remember her name, Crystal, I can't remember. You probably even know him. Her family, her dad's a ministerial servant. Said, you know what? You chose this course. I still our family. Crystal's reinstated. They just got Joey out of jail the other day because he went off and got crazy. So you look at that situation, that particular one, that isolated case, and go, okay, which was the better scenario? She goes, I treasure that relationship with my family. I treasured that relationship with Jehovah. I'm going back. And so now she's reinstated. She's active again. But unfortunately, Joey's not. He's
digging deeper into that.
Deeper and deeper and deeper. So that's why.
Okay.
It's for that spirit, that cleanliness.
Okay. So well, we base the way that we deal with the disfellowshipped as Jehovah's Witnesses off of 1 Corinthians 5:11. Those who have acted in that way and by their sins and by what they've done have chosen by their actions to leave. Well, let's just say that the person wants to leave on conscientious issues because of things that they disagree with, out of from what the Watchtower has taught and put forth in the past years and some of the actions that they've taken, and there is no actual sins being committed or anything like that, or lifestyle changes really. What if they leave on conscientious issues? Are they still to be treated as described in 1 Corinthians 5:11?